Curators, welcome back for a special mini finished object episode of the Yarn Curator podcast. My name is Naomi. Welcome to my channel. It is primarily a knitting and spinning related podcast where I like to talk about what I've been making, what catches my eye, and all of that good stuff. I was thinking earlier, it is primarily a knitting channel. It's probably because knitting was my first craft that I dabbled in, and the love is still strong today. Anyways, if you are a new viewer, welcome. This is not the normal format. Today is going to be a special short, quick episode where I talk about the sweater that I've been wearing kind of more in depth. And if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. If you'd like to follow me on social media, I am the Yarn Curator on Instagram. And if you'd like to find me on Ravelry, I am House of Cardigans. Yeah, we'll jump right in. So today I'm here to talk to you guys about my Whitmore sweater. It is a pattern by Amy Loudon, who is also a little tailoress. And yeah, I bound this off last night, immediately threw it in a bath to soak and block, and it is finally mostly dry. The last finishing touches of body blocking is so it'll conform to my body. Not really, I was just impatient. One, to film this, and two, because I'm really excited that it's done and I just wanted to throw it on. So part of why I'm impatient to film this is because of me, and I know if I don't do it now, then I will not do it before I record a podcast this upcoming weekend, and therefore I will not do this sweater the justice of its own video. So yeah, that's the real truth of it. Hashtag lazy. Focusing back in. So this is my finished Whitmore sweater, and I knit this out of One Skein Felicity Yarn Studio. It is my sister Zoe's hand-dyed yarn business, and One Skein of Lang Mohair Luxe. So as you can see, the aquamarine color here is a really pretty tonal light blue, and then this is a little bit brighter, punchier for the mohair. So I think they blended really well to create a nice, bright, vibrant, but still soft color. I really like this sweater when I've been seeing it in kind of softer color palettes, more toned down neutrals, creams, light pinks, purples. Well, I like everything in purple, but I think it's such a delicate lace detail that those more delicate colors lend themselves really well to it. At the same time, I would kind of love to see this in an all black version. I think that would be stunning as well. I used 3 skeins of the aquamarine and just over 7 balls of this Lang Mohair Luxe. I just had to crack into the 8th skein that I had of this for the last sleeve cuff. Overall, you know, really good yardage in terms of the fingering weight. And I have to say, for the mohair, this was made a little bit more affordable because I caught it on sale. If you're a knitter who's working on a budget, you could always make this out of a DK weight yarn. That is the gauge the pattern is written for. And if you still want the nice fluffy fuzzy mohair effect, you could always look for one of the weft blown yarns that have become really popular lately, where it's almost like a knitted core, and then the floofy stuff is blown through it, so you still get the lovely effect of knitting with something with a halo. I really love the color play of these two yarns together, and I really love this mohair base. It is super fluffy. It's a lot fluffier than some other mohairs I've worked with, and I don't know if you can see right there, but that mohair is coming up like a centimeter or so off of it. So there's the sweater, and there is where the mohair ends. I knit this on size 5 needles for the body. The pattern calls for size 6, but I got gauge with size 5s, and then size 3 for my cuffs and the neck ribbing, all that good stuff. And I believe those are all of the technical details, other than to say I knit this in the size large. I have a 42-inch bust, and this pattern is written to be worn with 2 to 4 inches of positive ease. So I knit for a size, I think it's 44-inch bust. the size large is supposed to come out to. So yeah, I mean, bang on with the ease there, and I really love the way it fits. I was a little hesitant of whether or not I was gonna like it as much when I cast it off. It was a little bit shorter than I wanted, and I wasn't really happy with the way the sleeves were laying. I decided to go ahead and do the bishop sleeves, and after blocking, the fabric relaxed a lot. It's a lot more movie, drapey, all of that good stuff. So I really like the way it's laying and hitting on my body. It really opened up that gorgeous lace detail along the yoke. And yeah, you can see the bishop sleeves are not perfect still. I have to admit, I was a little bit impatient while working on those. The pattern calls to knit like 17 inches for the sleeves, and I'm already 5'1", 5'2", and so I don't have like the world's longest arms, so that seemed one excessive to me. And when I had knit to the point where I would normally start ribbing on sleeves, I just kept knitting for another inch or two, and then I was like, I can't knit these sleeves any longer. I'm gonna go crazy. I did the recommended decreases and then went into the ribbing, and I think I made the ribbing a smidge longer than the pattern called for. That might be why it's laying a little bit odd now that I think about it. Anyways, all of that is to say, before blocking, the sleeves looked a little not right. So I aggressively blocked the sleeves in an attempt to make them longer. Then they came out like clown sleeves. So I threw it in the dryer for a few minutes. Everything shrunk up a little bit. It was fitting a little bit better. So the sleeves do look better after that. I don't know. I didn't weave in the ends on my sleeves yet on either of them because I've been kind of on the fence of whether or not I like the way that bishop sleeve looks on me personally. I think they're stunning in the pattern photos, and I think they're absolutely gorgeous. I just don't know if it's a style that I necessarily like the look of on myself. That is one of the beautiful things about knitting. If you don't like it, you can customize it and change it. So I'm giving them a test run right now. In all honesty, I probably won't rip them out and change them because one, I'm lazy and ain't nobody got time for that. And yeah, that's really what it boils down to. And I like them. They'll probably grow on me. I just need to actually remember to sew in the ends. But as you can see with the bishop sleeve, they are quite long. So they come just about to my fingertips. So that's a really long sleeve. So yeah, I think they're good. I just need to stop being hypercritical. It's one of my defining qualities. It's something that makes me good in some respects, and in other respects it can be really annoying to be that zeroed in on details. Anyways, I digress with too much personal information. I know a few other people who have channels as well here on YouTube have said they had issues with the lace in this pattern. I worked from the charts, so I did not personally have any issues. I think those issues were for people who were going from the written directions. That being said, she has sent out a couple updates to the pattern to try and clarify parts of the pattern that might have been confusing or things along those lines. So I do know she's been working on those, and yeah, I didn't have any issues. I do have to say, one of the things I really appreciate about this pattern, and I could just be talking nonsense, but I do think the designer took steps to make sure it was a well-fitting garment for individuals of all sizes in the size range. So if you look on Ravelry, it's sized from a size extra small up to a 4X, and I believe it's about a 32-inch bust up to about a 58-inch bust, and with blocking, that's closer to like a 38 to, I believe it was a 64-inch bust is the amount of ease you'll have at the end. The pattern itself, the way it's written is there's no short row shaping, so you can wear the front or the back. It doesn't really matter. The way the pattern's written is all sizes start, you cast on, you work the first set of charts, I believe. And then at the second set of charts that you start working, it kind of splits, a fork in the road, and the smaller sizes knit one set of instructions and one set of charts, and then the other sizes knit their own chart and set of instructions. It can be a little overwhelming when you look at the pattern and you open it up and you're like, oh my God, there's 4 pages of charts. I think it might even be more than that, but it's really because there's 2 main charts, and then once you get into some of the different sizes around here, this last repeat is a chart of it unto itself. However, each size has its own version of this particular charted repeat. And so I can see how that would be overwhelming, but really it's just, I think 3 charts in total. There's just a lot of them in there because there's a chart specific to each size. That's probably about 2.5 to 3 inches. So if I wanted to add, 2 to 3 more inches here, I could just add that in and then throw in a couple extra stitches, at the underarm to account for that. I consider myself a fairly experienced garment knitter. I think this is my 12th or 13th garment I've made now. To me, it's so well written and clearly laid out that it would be pretty easy to size up or down if need be, just by eliminating or adding one of these charted details. So overall, I'm really pleased with this garment. I have been in love with it since Amy first teased it on Instagram back in like October, November. Absolutely smitten with it. I was waiting with bated breath for her to release it. I offered to test it. Timing didn't work out, but it's all good. I still love it. I was still happy to support an indie designer. And yeah, I get to knit a lovely pattern. Overall, I would highly recommend knitting this pattern. I absolutely loved it. As I said, I'm kind of debating knitting a second one all in black for myself. I think that would be absolutely beautiful, and it's a really quick and enjoyable knit. And with that, we'll wrap things up. So if you enjoyed today's video, feel free to hit that thumbs up button. Leave a comment down below if you plan on knitting it or not. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this pattern. If you're not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that button. It just helps me and my channel get out there and grow our curator community a little bit larger. So I will talk to you guys later. Until next time, bye!